Hey guys, welcome to another lesson. In our last lesson, we discussed the chords in C major key. So today, first I want you to take a minute and think about what were the chords. So why don't we go through the chords? The first chord in the C major scale or key is C major. The second chord is D minor. The third chord is E minor. The fourth chord is F major. The fifth chord is G major. The sixth chord is A minor. And the seventh chord is B diminished, but we're skipping that. So, in our last lesson, we got to know what chords are in the C major key. Today, I want to take some time to kind of go through each of those chords very briefly. Right now, you're mastering C major key, and we will be learning all the other keys as well and the other chords. But this is a very good start for you, and you will be able to apply this and be able to play anything, compose anything right away. That's the beauty of it, to be honest with you. And you can also play other songs which may not be in C major key, but you can change it to C major key because it's all relative. And we will be looking at that in one of the next lessons shortly. So I'm very excited to be able to actually write it down for you guys, and I will be showing that in one of the future lessons, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome. It will help you out a lot. So today, like I mentioned, we'll be looking at the chords. So I made a little bit of a chart here. Okay, so today we are looking at how to play the chords in the key of C major. So the first chord in the key of C major is C major itself. You play it with your third finger, reminding you again, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Your third finger goes on the third fret of the fifth string. First string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, sixth string. The number goes up, okay? And also you can see them here. I have named them E, B, G, D, A, E. E being the sixth string over here, and that non-capitalized E is your first string. Okay, so let me actually do this. Alright, so just sorry about that. Let me actually just do this. And here we go. Okay, so where does your finger go? So where does your finger go for C major? Okay, so the first, like I mentioned, fifth string, third fret, third finger. So let's just do that. Let's write that down. So on the third fret, so fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, third fret. Okay, so right here. So right below your third finger, your second finger is playing fret 2 on the fourth string. So let's jot that down over here, okay? And then finally, your first finger plays the first fret on the second string. And let's draw that out over here. So that's your C major chord. The rest of the strings are open. You don't play the sixth string. If you're playing it right now, it's fine, but ideally you wouldn't be. So like I mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's clean, okay? Make sure it's clean. So C major, I'm going to grade this chord. So let's say there are 3 difficulties, okay, for the chords we are learning today. C major will be in the middle, so I'm going to say M. D minor, that's the next chord. So D minor, we don't play the 6th string, and we also don't play the 5th string. So what do we play? So our first finger goes on the 1st fret of the 1st string. So right over here. Our 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So the B string. So right over here. The 3rd fret. Okay. Finally, your 2nd finger plays the 2nd fret on the G string. Bonus points if you can name what note it is. 2nd note on the G string is A. Okay, so right over here is your 3rd finger. And that's D minor. You play the 4th string open. So now let's play C major to D minor. Okay, let's do some plucking. I just played with the 2 chords. I highly encourage you to do the same. It's just going to help you transition from chord to chord. And while you're mixing things up, like even if you're strumming once, right, you're not doing anything fancy. Okay, so play whatever you want to play. So we will move on to the next chord, the 3rd chord. So before I do that, I am going to rate this as a medium as well, okay? And then the next one is E minor, our favorite chord, because it is the easiest to play. So you pick any 2 fingers. I keep switching, okay? So I sometimes play with these 2 fingers, so my 1st and 2nd. Sometimes I play with my 2nd and 3rd. This depends on where I'm coming from. So see, so when I'm going from E minor to C, I'm holding it with these 2 fingers. But let's say when I'm coming from G to E minor, I'm using these 2 fingers. To be completely honest with you, if I use these 2 fingers, I think it's more economical, because we will find this also later in the lesson today. While we are playing G, our 1st finger is already occupying 1 space of the E minor chord. E minor only has 2 notes that we have to hold. The rest is open. Okay, so how do we play E minor? We play E minor with, again, taking any of the 2 fingers from our 1st, 2nd, 3rd finger, and we place it on the 2nd fret of both the 5th fret and the 4th fret. So let's draw it out. So it's the A string, okay, and then the D string. So that's it. That's E minor, and I rate this easy. That's the best chord ever, and it sounds so good, and it's used in 70% of the songs. Now, E minor to C, let's do that transition, right? So if you remember, I was telling you that when I transition from E minor to C, I use these two fingers. Why do I use these two fingers? So let's look at E minor and C. E minor, we are playing like this, with two fingers right over here, right? So let me get a different color. So we want to look at this note over here, okay? Look at this note, second fret of the D string. C major also has second fret on the D string. So when we're transitioning, why would we want to necessarily move one finger which is already in position? So what we do is, so let me actually try to see. Yeah, so this might be a better view for you guys. So, right? So my second finger is staying in position. My first finger raises up, goes to its position for the C major chord, and my third finger comes up and sits on the third fret, giving me the C chord. So E minor, right? Very economical. Let me show you something else as well. So this is going to be a holy grail of chord combination that you're going to play forever. E minor, C, A minor, back to E minor. While I played all those four chords, my second finger stayed in the same position. Okay? And if I play E minor with the first two fingers like we discussed, when we play the G chord, our first finger again stays there. So it's important to look, just to make things easier for you, to look and see what notes might be the same, and can I keep my hand there and move around my other fingers to play the other chords. So think of it that way. That's going to help you make the very frustrating journey where you're kind of like not being able to play the chords. I think that's the most frustrating. Once you learn some chords, you can already play the guitar, which is amazing, and you can improve on these skills, but learning the chords is the very core, okay? So we learned C major, D minor, E minor. Next is F major. So how do we play F major? F major is, to be honest, one of the harder chords that you'll be playing, but I'm going to make this easier for you. The traditional way, the correct way to play your F major chord is, so what am I doing? I am holding these two notes here with my third and fourth finger on the third fret of the fourth and fifth string. And then my second finger goes on the second fret of the third string. And then my first finger holds the first two frets of the second string and the first string. Whenever one finger holds multiple strings, more than one strings, it's called barring. We will go through bar chords in a separate lesson because it actually is pretty difficult, and the only way to overcome it is through practice. There's no other way, unfortunately. But I'm still going to make it easier for you. When I was learning, I literally just left the F major chord, even the F minor chord, because again, I have to bar. I literally did not learn it, but there's an easier way you can play the F major chord. So we're going to go through both of those, and I'm going to show you how to play both of those. So let's get started, okay? So how do we play the easy way for F major chord? Let's do that really quickly. The easy way to play this is the last 4 strings, just like D minor. We play last 4 strings. For F major easy way, we play last 4 strings. So what we are playing is our third finger goes on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Our second finger goes on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Our first finger goes on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And we leave the last string open. So it sounds like this. One thing you should notice is this looks very similar to C. Okay, so if you can conquer C, you can conquer F major, at least the easy way. At least you will be able to play the chord. So how is F major different than C? You see these 2 fingers, the 3rd and the 4th, they just have to go up 1 string for it to be a C chord. So I'll give you a close-up. Yep, so and also, while we are listening, let's also listen to the difference between the actual F major chord and the chord that we are playing. This is the actual F major chord. This is what we are playing. So what are we playing, right? So let's go back to our drawing board over here. So the easy way to play F major is our first finger goes on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. Okay? So this is first finger. Our second finger goes on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And our third finger goes on the 3rd fret of our 4th string. Let's quickly compare this to C major. Do you see that? Let me get a different color over here. Yep. Do you see that these 2 is very similar in positioning as these 2? So that's what I was mentioning, that's what's happening there, okay? So if you have conquered your F major the easy way, what's next? What should I learn? What should I try to go for next? What maybe you want to do at that point is add this over here, okay? So that will be barring because you're also holding this with your first finger. Right? Holding both, holding only the second string. So putting that into the context of comparing it with the F major. F major with this new 1 added, it sounds like this. Comparing that with the F major, very similar. All you're missing is this and also this F note itself over here. But first you will try to conquer these 4 notes. So after you have played the first fret as well by barring with your first finger, the next note you want to add is right over here. Okay? But when you add this note, so let me go give you guys a close up. You can either play with the pinky coming up higher than your third finger, but to be honest, that's very uncomfortable. Most people normally have their pinky right pretty much tucked right into their ring finger, right? It just makes things easy. It's just more comfortable. There are some chords that you will see later in your journey of learning the guitar, where you need to hold chords like where the pinky is above the ring finger, so that your fourth finger is above the third finger. But in this case, we don't have to. So if we are transitioning from F major with the two first fret notes being played on the first and second string, and if you're trying to add this third fret as well, what you do is you take your third finger and then you move it up. So let me write it with this color 3, and this note that you were holding before becomes 4. Okay? Finally, if you're done with this as well, and if you are, then that's awesome. That's actually great. You're doing really good. You want to add this note over here as well with your first finger. That's your full F major chord. What I suggest right now is you play maybe a chord progression which goes like this: F major easy. So let me make the strumming easy as well, right? So what am I playing? I went back to the chord progression I told you: C major, E minor, A minor. Okay, so I added the F to it. So the first chord was F, then C, then E minor, then A minor. Right? Very simple and very soothing, very nice sounding, so great. And they always go well together and pretty easy to hold and transition from one to the other. This is the color coding again, just to go over, of F major. So the 3 black dots are the easiest way to play F major. The next thing you want to add is this yellow over here with the 1. So easy, bar it with your first finger. That's the second stage. The third stage is the orange. You add the orange note, and then your finger changes from 3 over here to the 4th because your pinky takes over, and right on top of your pinky goes your ring finger. So that's how it is played for the next step. And then the final step is you use your first finger to hold all the strings on the first fret. And then when you add the rest of the fingers, it gives you your F major. The next chord we're going to learn is the G major. G major, before that, I'm going to rate F major chord as hard, okay? It is very difficult to conquer this chord, but I believe in you, and you do have the easy way, so you should be good to go. G major. G major, how do we play G major? So let me draw this out first for you. There are 3 strings which are played on the 3rd fret, but we don't really bar it, okay? I'll show you. And then 1 string is on the 2nd fret. So from the top, you play 3rd fret, then the 2nd fret on your 5th string. The next 2 strings, so the 4th and the 3rd, are open, and then the last 2 strings you hold it again in the 3rd fret. So in total, okay, that's how you play G major. Everything from the C major. Finally, the last chord is, before I go on to A minor, I'm going to rate this chord an M. Okay, it's just, you just have to get a little bit used to it. Finally, the A minor, another easy chord. The way you play this chord is your first finger goes on the 1st fret of your B string, 2nd string. Your 3rd and 2nd finger, your 2nd finger going on top of your 3rd, like this, is played on the 2nd fret of your 3rd string and the 4th string. That's your A minor. Another beautiful chord. All chords are beautiful. But that's how you play A minor, and that's basically it. Those are the chords we are focused on, and I will be rating this last chord an easy chord. But those are the 6 chords that we just went through here, which you want to learn, okay? You want to learn these as soon as you can. I will be focusing on these chords for a few more lessons, and then we will switch things up a little bit. But learn these chords. You will be able to play anything if you know these chords, because you can take songs in another key and change that key to C. Once we go through a lesson, which I already have planned, all of this will make sense, and that's where you'll really see why I've been focusing on particular key rather than just giving you the chords, like learn these chords. There is a reason to it, and you will be finding that soon. I can definitely transpose a song for you guys from a different key to the key of C major, and we can play it, okay? So before this lesson is concluded, I do want to give you guys a couple things. One is your posture, okay? Don't try to be playing like this where your head is, like, I do play like this. I play like this. I'm not necessarily looking at my fretboard. That's the reason. I'm trying to listen and connect with the guitar. That's why I go like this. That's how I figure out what or how I want to strum. Try to make sure your posture is straight. And the other thing about strumming that I want to emphasize is that you might be messing up with your left hand, okay? But make sure your right hand keeps going. What do I mean by that? So we will do, let's say, chord changes every 2 beats, and I'm going to exaggerate my mistakes in my left hand, okay? But my right hand needs to be going, needs to keep on going. What this will do is it will help you learn rhythm better, and also it will force your left hand to try to learn faster, because now it has to catch up to this, to your right hand, right? So your reflexes become faster. So 1 2 1 2. So we'll go slower, okay? I'm just trying to play C and A minor, but I might, like you can see, sometimes I'm forgetting the chords, sometimes I might be not placing my fingers correctly. Whatever the case was, my right hand kept going, and I was always trying to catch up with my left hand. Okay, this is the chord I needed to be on, so I have to be on it right now. If you stop, then you're training your hand to like take all the time it needs to hold the chord, and you're also training your right hand to randomly stop. It just does not make sense. Just keep strumming with your right hand no matter what happens, okay? That's all we're going to do for today. If you guys need, take a screenshot of these chords. There are only, okay, so let me actually make it a little bit easier for you guys, and then I can grab this here, pull this right here, okay? So yeah, if you guys need to, take a screenshot and learn these chords, learn these 6 very easy chords. We will learn some more chords soon. I just don't want you to try to learn everything. I rather want you to have an easy way where you can kind of see how what you're learning can be applied, and just slowly transition in, okay? So learn these chords, do pluckings with it, do strumming practice with it, all the exercises I told you guys to do, and also the finger exercise just for a reminder. Okay, so have a good one. I'll see you guys soon.